All right, welcome. This is Nuke Marine presenting Let's Read Japanese, a course series for the reading of Japanese text alongside its audio counterpart. Today's episode is Shinya Shokudo Season 2, Episode 3, or Episode 13, depending on how you want to count it. But yeah, don't know what the episode's about, since all these are episodic in nature, and they're kind of standalone, but they do build upon previous things that you've watched, so you do get rewarded for, keeping up. But again, you don't have to watch them in order. You can actually have your favorite to watch, because some are good, some are not so good. Some are sad, some are more funnier than others, some are more darker than others. It just depends on the situation. And with that, we can get started. All right, actually, before let me do the intro first. All right, so anyway, if you end up liking this video, remember to give it a thumbs up or a like, and maybe add some comments. If you enjoy the series that I'm doing, like to see more, subscribe to the channel. If you like what I'm doing with the Japanese language learning community, and you show your support, this is all part of the Let's Learn Japanese project. So if you'd like to support that, that can be done with via the Patreon, so links are below, as well as links to the website and the community Discord. Finally, there is a link, direct link to if you want to hire me on commission. That's in usually hourly rates, and the payment are done via Patreon as well. But again, that's usually done by, it's usually meant it's for technical assistance or advice, usually for people who need to help getting started. Right, using, they might, or they're restarting, or they like to advice on how to basically refocus their efforts. Okay, with that, let's get into it. I wonder what this would have been like with, you go back to the first time I started this, one or two years ago. It's had much longer introductions, or I was doing some random stuff before I even started the video. Like, you'd have to skip forward a half hour. Now it's just like, all right, let's get the reading ahead of time. If I'm going to do extra, I'll put it at the end of the video. That way, people can skip to the next video if they want. They don't have to worry about me talking for another 20-30 minutes on random stuff. Let's skip that.
一日が終わり、人々が家路へと急ぐ。俺の一日は始まる。営業時間は夜12時から朝7時頃まで。人は深夜食堂って言ってるよ。客が来るかって？それが結構久しぶりに。それが結構来るんだよ。
それが結構来るんだよ。深夜食堂。
久しぶりにゾクゾクしたよ。
ゾクゾク。は、夏のために。Go from hot to cold, or going from excited to shiver with cold. ゾクゾク。
久しぶりにゾクゾクしたよ。ライトを浴びたキラリちゃんの肌に汗がツーッと。
I think that's the name is Kirari-chan. Hey, come on, get out of here.
ライトを浴びたキラリちゃんの肌に汗がツーッと。
キラキラしてましたよね。
キラキラキラーリ。
今のダジャレ超ウケんだけど。
今のダジャレ？ダジャレ？ダセジャルク。ダジャレ。Oh, so oshare, dajare. Oh yeah, that word was used in the previous show I read as well. Dajare. Okay, bad joke. Dajare. Kirari, kira kira. Oh, kirari, kira kira.
今のダジャレ超ウケんだけど。
今のこうして。
いいよ。
もし。誰ですか？あの子、えらく盛り上がってる。誰ですか？あの子、えらく盛り上がってる。 キラリちゃんってニューアートの新人の踊り子さん、2人で熱上げててさ。
So she's a new stripper. Is that what it's calling? New auto? Let's see if it's. No, it's not. New auto, no.
キラリちゃんって2人で熱上げててさ。
マリリンさんのおかけの2人がそれじゃまずいんじゃないですか。
マカオに巡業に行ってて。
Is that on travel? Like a business circuit? いろいろな、yeah, okay. 巡業. So I mean that means, yeah, provincial tour. 巡業.
マカオに巡業に行ってて、当分戻ってこないってさ。
Make sure about 当分。将来のある。当分。
マカオに巡業に行ってて、当分戻ってこないってさ。
あ、キラリ、小説だよ、大体。
俺ここ持つからよ、お前から置けな。
え？
俺ここ持つからよ、お前から置けな。
え？今日のチケット代払ったの俺ですよ。
おいさんね、キラリちゃんに藤木君歌ってもらいたいな。荷物持ってこい、荷物。おいさんね、キラリちゃんに藤木君歌ってもらいたいな。
藤稽古。うん。藤稽古。I don't know who that is, but.
おいさんね、キラリちゃんに藤木君歌ってもらいたいな。荷物持ってこい、荷物。
ちょっと、チュウさん、ちょっと待ってくださいよ。マスターまた。
なんだよ。はい、酔っ払い。
Oh, yeah, she played the principal on GTO.
こんばんは。
また酔っ払ってんな。ダメだよ、息子さんに心配かけちゃ。
説教いらないよ。アサリの酒蒸しと酒。
Yes, it's the name. Oh, wait. Asadi is also the name for clams. Yeah, right there. That for cook that you cook. Asadi no sakemushi. Okay. Asadi no sakemushi to sake.
アサリの酒蒸しと酒。
Sake.
はいよ。
Ayo. Yep, asadi. And it's not for asadi also, it's not very complicated. I mean, it's just asai, and then this one right here is, mushi for bug, and then D, which is just a bivalve. Let's see, what's another? Bivalve, yeah.
はいよ。いい酒ってのはよ。
なんかここの酒水っぽいね。
That's kind of a rude thing to say. Mizupoi. Weak or tepid? なんでここの酒水っぽい？
なんかここの酒水っぽいね。
いい酒ってのは酔うと水みたいに感じるものなんだよ。
いい酒ってのは。We're saying よっぽどいいよっぽ酔うと水みたいに。
いい酒ってのは酔うと水みたいに感じるものなんだよ。
よく言うよ、こんな安酒で。あんたちょっと飲んでごらんよ。
あ、いえ、僕もこれで3杯目なんで。
これで。
何言ってんだよ、大の男が。いいんだよ、好きなだけ飲みゃ。近頃の若いもん、あんな決まり事をきっちり守ってさ。そっか、分かった分かった。要するに私の酒は飲めない、そういうこと。
要するに before long in a short word. Okay. 要するに。
要するに私の酒は飲めない、そういうことだよね。
That makes the most sense as far as we have the yo in grammar. so it kind of makes sense, like something that's desirable, something you wish to happen, yoni, and then you have like tamini for the purpose of. So knowing, I think it is good, like when you see that, kind of like you have oku for, okay, to place something. So like skute okuni, like to make ahead of time. So it's just, once you learn those words, and it kind of makes the grammar a little bit easier to comprehend as to, definitely when you think of yo, it's definitely, I'm assuming it means this yo, as in something that you need something or desire of something. Dr. Malo, fancy, I still don't know how to eat oysters. So for oysters, what you do, because if you boil them and they open it up and they pop open on their own, if you prepare them correctly, and then what you do is you just use, I just use chopsticks anyway, but you can just pull them off, and there's a little bit left. You again use the edge of the chopsticks to kind of scrape off the portion that's connecting the meaty part of the clam to the shell. Again, what I do is I usually, like as a bundle, just take a bunch of them off, put them back in the soup or whatever it happened to come from, or the sauce, and then put the shells in some type of bowl or something, to throw away. That's all. So that way, then mix it up and then enjoy the rest of the soup. Just depends on how you like to do it. Some people also like, for fun, like dip the clam shells into the soup and then drink it with the clam shells. I think it's like she was doing there. It just depends on what you wanted. There's no real right or wrong way of doing it. And by the way, that's with asadi. With like real oysters on the half shell, like you'd be served like a very big one. Those you can just, as long as you've loosened it, so it's just on the shell. Add a little sauce or whatever you want to, and then just basically just tip it up to the mouth and just chew it off. They taste really good, but those are kind of the pricier ones. Those are ones where you might be paying like a 2 or 3, maybe even more. Like you're definitely paying a lot per shell per oyster.
そういうわけじゃないんですけど。
要するに私の酒は飲めない、そういうことだよね。
そういうわけじゃないんですけど。
いいよ、分かってるよ。一人で飲むからいいよ。おかわり。
うちは3本までなんでね。
いいんだよ、私の体なんだからほっといてよ。おかわり、ほら。
Yeah, unfortunately, you got some older people that are like alcoholics, like she apparently appears to be. But even more so, like from morning to evening, they are just drinking. And eventually you'd stop seeing them, so you kind of guess what happens. You either get hospitalized or again pass away. But it's it happens. I mean, it's not unique to Japan, but it definitely is in Japan.
いい加減しろ。
いい加減しろ。
おお、さ。
Oh, let me see what his name is. Joe.
いい加減しろ。
おお、酒も飲めないやつが。一丁前に説教するか。
一丁前。Right. Okay.
おお、酒も飲めないやつが一丁前に説教するか。
There she's getting sekyo again, like she doesn't like being preached about how she's drinking too much.
だからお前ダメなんだよ。私育て方間違えちまったね。
言ってやんだよ。世話してんの俺なんだからな。何言ってやんだよ。世話してんの俺なんだからな。
なんだよ、違うだろ
う。いつも迷惑かけてすいません。
迷惑なんかかけてないよ。
I've never seen that happen in real life. I'm assuming it's just a television thing. Yeah. Maybe it has happened. I just haven't seen it. I've never seen like an old person being carried on their back, on somebody's back.
今日も水で割っといたから。
ほら、おろせって。
いいんだよ。
もう一回行くよ。
何言ってんだよ。帰って寝るんだよ。 あの親子が仲がいいんだか悪いんだか。
寝言。Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
シミだらけでしわくちゃで。
シミだらけ。Well, shimi is a bunch of the birthmarks and stuff. Yeah, shimi da rake de shirokucha. Oh yeah, the wrinkles. Hitoku. Shirokucha de.
シミだらけでしわくちゃで。
Shirokucha de.
本当にババアになっちまったな。
Now the actor, I've seen him plenty of times. He also plays a pretty fun, cool part in Hanzao Naoki and whatnot. So yeah, and he was the actor in how am I forgetting this? Nobuto Producer. Urodusu. So yeah, he played the father, Shuji's father.
お前だってすっかりおっさんになっちまってさ。
起きてたのかい。
私だってね、孫でもいてくれりゃ酒なんかすぐやめちまうさ。
話があべこべだろ。
あべこべ。あべこべ。うちなど関係が様。On the contrary. おべこべ。Or if there's a kanji for it. Doesn't look like abekobe. Abekobe.
話があべこべだろ。こんな飲んだくれの母親抱えたおっさんに嫁の来てなんかあるもんか。
嫁の来てなんかあるもんか。Yeah, and that's a thing of people who might become couples in Japan. Again, that's got to be part of the conversation. Like, hey, are they going to be responsible for, one of the the parents of the other person? If that's the case, that could be like a deal breaker, as you saw in Around 40. And certain episodes of this is just, again, it's just something that's part of the conversation.
こいって料理ばっかうまくなってどうすんのさ。
構えて。両拳を前に出して右手を引いて正拳中段突き。
Shoken. That's supposed to be a name or just a method? Shoken, Judan, Aki.
正拳中段突き。
正
やれて。2、3。作りいいかな。そうで。次受け返し始めます。
Let me hear that again.
作りいいかな。そうで。次受け返し始めます。サポーター準備。大丈夫か。はい、順番に順番に。よーし、お前たち好きなもの頼んでいいぞ。本当に。悪いねマスター、せっかくの休みなのに無理言っちゃって。
構わないよ。こんなお客さんも大歓迎さ。たまにならね。
俺ハンバーグ、俺ステーキ、俺
ハンバーグステーキ。Where are we at? 生徒たち。
ジョーさんは？
ジョーさんは？
俺はいいや。少し痩せないと動きが鈍くなっちまうから。
そうかい。
でした。
そうかい。
ごちそうさまでした。
And you hear that? I usually thought it's an abbreviation. Ohayou gozaimasu, because you say it in the morning. You hear it in the morning on military bases in Japanese, among the Japanese military. And I'm saying that from experience. I'm not like it's not. Oh, they saw it on TV. No, I mean like, yeah, around the Japanese military. Yeah, they were saying that.
待て。
No, no.
いいぞ。よし。盛況だね、マスター。
Okay. 盛況かや。よし。Prosperity, prosperous. 盛況だね。
よし。盛況だね、マスター。これ頼まれてる。よいしょ、新しいサンドバッグさ、どうじゃ。
サンドバッグ。
運んどいたから。
どうぞ。
サンキュー。
新しいサンドバッグさ、どうじゃ運んどいたから。
サンキュー。
Make sure, I mean, sandal bag. Make sure about something. So now, yeah, sandbags, yeah. Yeah. Boxing, okay. Makes sense. For boxing, okay. A punching bag. Sandal bag. Punching bag. Makes more sense. All right, cool.
新しいサンドバッグさ、どうじゃ運んどいたから。
サンキュー。それでさ、支払いのことなんだけど。
いいよ、余裕ある時で。
悪いね。
なんだよ、ジョーヤン、そんな新規臭い顔してもいいから言って。結構。
新規臭い。新規臭い。なんでジョーさんそんな新規臭いか。
もういいから。なんだよ、ジョーヤン、そんな新規臭い顔してもいいから言って。結構でしょ。
Practice? 稽古。いや、稽古でしょ。いいから稽古でしょ。
もういいから言って。結構でしょ。
じゃあ、おし。行くぞ。
いい。おし。じゃあ、俺はこれしていいかな。
I think his name is Nagai, right? Yeah, Nagai. おし。じゃあ、俺はこれ。
車だろ。
じゃあ俺はこれしていいかな。
車だろ、永井君。
まあ女房迎え来るから。
This is wife, right? 女房妻。いや、女房迎えに来るか
まあ女房迎え来るから。
へえ。あっちは母親を迎えに来て、こっちは女房が迎えに来るのか。
いじめないでよ。俺だってさ、嫁姑問題でそれなりに苦労してんだから。
嫁姑。OK、姑。割とさ、嫁姑問題で。OK、ガチ。
俺だってさ、嫁姑問題でそれなりに苦労してんだから。ホップシュパッと。
ホップシュパ。See. Yeah. I'm saying like there's like different terminologies for spouse or wife, depending on. Same with mother as well.
はいよ。
Yep.
まあね、道場の経営はうまくいってるようだけど、まあ、いくら上まあね、道場の経営はうまくいってるようだけど、まあ、いくら上野が注意してもおふくろさんあの調子だからさ。体のこともあるしね、まあ先のこと考えると不安だって俺には打ち明けてくれたんだ。
Chiakiru. Make sure about that. Chiakiru. He needs it. Okay. Bring to light, that's right. 心の中に出ることなど to worry about some. Chia. Reveal.
まあ先のこと考えると不安だって俺には打ち明けてくれたんだ。少しでも気詰めなきゃって。言わないでよジョーヤには。もちろん。マスターこれ信じられる？ジョーヤ子供の頃いじめられっ子だったって。あの体で図体はでかかったけどトロくて泣き虫でさ。
図体 Let's see what that is. Karara ski. Karara. Okay, so it's body. His size? 図体 large body front. 図体はでかかったけど so it's kind of like a thinly nakimushi, like a okay, kind of wiki. とろくてとろい kind of like liquidy, nibui, noroi, okay, weak. Nakimushi, ちょっとしたことも and okay, cry, kind of like a crybaby.
図体はでかかったけどトロくて泣き虫でさ、いっつも仲間外れにされてさ。である日一人ぼっちで公園のジャングルジム登っててぼーっとしてたんだろうね。足滑らしちゃって。
母ちゃん、誰にやられたか言ってみ。母ちゃん今から殺しに行くから。
Where are we at there?
誰にやられたか言ってみ。母ちゃん今から殺しに行くから。
それからジョーヤが空手始めたの。毎日必死で稽古したよ。おふくろさん人殺しにはできないもんな。ジョーヤンが全国大会優勝した時俺たち謝りに行ったんだ。俺たち？昔いじめてた連中。永井君が。でもさジョーヤンあっさり許してくれた。もうね。
Properly, completely, deeply. あっさり許してくれた。
俺たちがもうね。でもさジョーヤンあっさり許してくれた。もうね俺たちが足元にも及ばない立派な男になってた。それからの付き合いかな。いい話聞かせてもらった。一杯おごるよ。
Asadi. So that's probably the meal of that's going to be the discussed meal today for the episode.
はい。お待ち。
And now, usually for that, I have it with pasta. So my wife will prepare that. She'll prepare the pasta and, and whatnot. Although sometimes you have it as a trying to think. Yeah, sometimes we'll have it just by itself, you know. But yeah, it's pretty good as a.
この匂いたまんねえな。
ジョーさんも一緒に行けばよかったのに。
冗談じゃないっすよ。普段からおもりさせられてんのにババアと旅行なんか飛んで。普段からおもりさせられてんのにババアと旅行なんかとんでもねえや。あ、おばさんにおつけちゃったのは申し訳なかったけど。
おつけちゃった。つけちゃった。おつけちゃったの
は申し訳なかったけど。あ、おばさんにおつけちゃったのは申し訳なかったけど。話し相手がいると量は飲まないから。
ジョーさん。うん。余計なおせっかいかもしれないけど。
余計なおせっかい。
一度病院に連れてった方がよかないかね。
うん。
分かってます。でも本人が嫌がってるし、おふくろがそんなに飲みたいんなら好きなだけ飲ませてやった方がいいんじゃないかってこの頃思うんですよね。ずっと苦労しっぱなしだったから。
しっぱなし？Only he's completely working hard. Though she in the okay.
ずっと苦労しっぱなしだったから。
しっぱなしだから。
昔親父が工場潰して女と逃げたんですよ。昔親父が工場潰して女と逃げたんですよ。
うん。
毎日毎日借金取りが押しかけてきて、おふくろ謝ってばっかりだった。そんな時にね。
フラッシュバッ
ク。なぜだかおふくろに連れられて。なぜ
だか。
二人で海に行ったんですよ。人のいない砂浜を二人で延々と歩いて。
Is it N? Stop that. I know it's endlessly. NN. Okay.
人のいない砂浜を二人で延々と歩いて。俺も歩けねえってダダこねたんですよ。そしたら近くにあった定食屋に入っておふくろがこいつをそしたら近くにあった定食屋に入っておふくろがこいつを頼んでくれたんですよ。
うん。
俺結局3杯もおかわりして俺結局3杯もおかわりしてでもう一回おかわりって言ったらさすがに怒られましたけどね。
よっぽどうまかったんだな。
よっぽどうまかったな。
その時俺生まれて初めてアサリの酒蒸し食べたんだよね。
アサリの酒蒸し。
大人になってからおふくろに言われた。あんたがあんまりうまそうに酒蒸し食べるんで死ぬのやめたって。
うん。
おれんさん うちじゃいつもアサリの酒蒸しだよ。
うん。
ちょっと待っててな。これはサービスだ。
ごめん。
ありがとうマスター。俺その時もこうやって食ったんだ。
So yeah, so what he's doing instead of just drinking just the sauce by itself, pour it into the rice, kind of mix it up, and yeah, it gives it a little bit more body. Yeah, looks good. Give it a little further.
その後もたびたび酔いつぶれたおれんさんを連れ帰るジョーさんを見かけたけど、とうとう入院させるしかなかったらしい。悪いね、まだ準備中なんで。
あ
よ、おかえり。
ご無沙汰してます。
Katagiri. I know he plays two parts in the series. The actor does, but I don't think it's meant to be the same person. ご無沙汰してます。
チュウさんが悪いんですよ。あの日途中からずっとマイク握ってたじゃないですか。あの日途中からずっとマイク握ってたじゃないですか。
早くマリリン帰ってこねえかな。
振られたの？
キラリちゃん、紙テープ投げても。
紙テープ？ Let's see if that's a phrase. 紙テープを投げても。
キラリちゃん、紙テープ投げても、手拍子で盛り上げても、目も合わせてくれないんですよ。
手拍子。手を叩いて。手を叩いてよし。OK。
手拍子で盛り上げても目も合わせてくれないんですよ。
I assume like she can't clap to the rhythm.
やっぱり歌謡曲歌えない女はダメだね。
Okay, 演歌 right? 歌謡曲。歌謡曲。歌謡曲。Okay.
やっぱり歌謡曲歌えない女はダメだね。味がねっていうか、なんか人生のコクってもんがわかんねえやな。
人生のコク、コク、コク。That's usually, isn't that peddling or something? It's yokosu. Confess. なんか人生のコクってもんが。
なんか人生のコクってもんがわかんねえやな。
Well, wasn't he doing peanuts the last season? Now he's doing eggs.
おもろうてやがて悲しき踊り子の。
おもろうてやめて悲しき
やがて悲しき踊り子の股から覗くエーゲ海。
エーゲ海、エージェンス。股から覗く
股から覗くエーゲ海。 男の道はローマに続く。男の道はローマに続く。人生先は。
Is that like a version of saying all roads lead to Rome? Let's see if it's a phrase.
知んなよ。
いらっしゃい。
あのババア病院でも元気。老男主みたいな振る舞いしてやがんですよ。
老男。
老男主みたいな振る舞いしてやがんですよ。
老男主。老男主。Stop that.
老男主みたいな振る舞いしてやがんですよ。
さすがおれんさんだな。
しかもシラフでですよ。
I assume so. Row would be village or something, right? Or
しかもシラフでですよ。病院にいる間に酒飲まなくても平気になったみたいなんですよ。
Ah, jail warden. Okay. Okay.
これでもうマスターにも迷惑かけることもないと思います。
その一番の要因何かわかる？その一番の要因何かわかる？なんだい？ジョーヤンが付き添いの看護師さんといい雰囲気になってんの。だから大黒さん喜んじゃって。じゃあ来週はそのお祝いとおれんさんの台湾をやらなくちゃな。
いや、いいですよマスター。いやでももしやってもらえたらおふくろ喜ぶかもな。
ジョーヤンがだろ。その時看護師さんも連れてきなよ。
やめろよ。
Whoa! Good catch. Woof. Let's just watch that again, sorry.
やめろよ。
Whoa. Oops. Careful about that.
マスターすみません。
あ、いいよいいよ。この技が
こんな技が
付き合うきっかけ。
Make sure about something.
この技が付き合うきっかけ。看護師イチコロ。
やめ。
Make sure about イチコロ。極めて。
やめろよ。
看護師イチコロ。
やめろよ。
やばい。いや、危ないほら。芸は身を助けだな。
芸は身を助けな。
おっす。
先生遅いね。
帰りに病院の近くの海に寄ってるって言ったら道混んでんのかな。
砂浜でビーチでもやってんじゃない。
ちょっと電話してきます。だな。
Maybe something happened.
はい。ジュースもっと飲みたい人。どうした？何かあったのか？例の看護師さんが電話に出て、ジョーヤン交通事故に巻き込まれたって。
Oh no.
おふくろさんは軽傷だったんですけど、ジョーヤンおふくろさん守ろうとして内臓破裂。
Deep cut, right? Rupture. Okay. But it's
ジョーヤンおふくろさん守ろうとして内臓破裂。これから手術するって。
Secretary asking, do you do any more immersion outside? Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, there's lots of stuff you do besides it. One is like watching it again would be an example of the extra immersion. Listening to it on the phone, replaying it on, that could be background immersion there. Again, just watching regular shows on TV. Yeah, so obviously this is not my only exposure to that. This is my reading. This is a majority of my reading is done doing this. I'll be honest. Yeah.
先生、
Oh yeah.
私の内臓全部やるから。あの子助けてください、お願いします。
大丈夫ですから、私たちに任せてください。
ちょっと、あの子死なせたらあんた殺すからね。
How about don't threaten doctors like that? That's not nice. Don't put pressure on doctors like that either. It's not their job. Again, they will do their best.
それから3ヶ月後、オレンさんの脅しが効いたのか、ジョーさんは無事退院して子供らを悲しませずに済んだ。
退院。おめでとう。
いろいろ心配かけてすいません。
ありがとう。
元気に戻ってくれて何よりだ。
Though 3 months in was that? Yeah, I couldn't imagine being in the hospital 3 months that long. But
これはうちからの回帰祝い。
回帰祝い。病気全開の祝い。Okay, 回帰祝い。回帰祝い。
これはうちからの回帰祝い。
やっぱりアサリの酒蒸しにはこれだね。
不思議だな。手術したら下戸の嬢さんが。
下戸の。OK、下戸。したら下戸の嬢さんが。
飲めるようになっちまう。手術したら下戸の嬢さんが飲めるようになっちまうなんて。
私がやっと酒やめられたってのに、このバカ息子。
うるせえバーバー。とっとと死んじまえ。
何言ってんだ。この罰当たり。
punishment 罰当たり。なんつうかだろう。当然。罰当たり。justly punished. Damned, cursed. OK。罰当たり。
何言ってんだ。この罰当たり。おまけにさ、看護師さんに振られちまってね。
おいそれ言わねえって約束しただろ。
こっちはさ、やっとお前のそばから解放されて清々してたっていうのにさ。
そりゃこっちのセリフだ。クソババア。
なんだよ。
ほら、
あっさり振られんな。
せや。俺死ぬ。
親子だね。まったく仲がいいんだか悪いんだか。
There was a lot of conversation on this one, even very little downtime. This sounds kind of yeah, like the last episode. Yeah. Okay. Get rid of the because if you don't get that out of there when you bite into it, you're gonna bite into the little flakes of sand, and it's not a good feeling. 貫きしました。鷹の爪とに。鷹の。Oh, that's never mind. Those are the red peppers. That's right. Taka no tsume. Which again, because of kino nani tabeta. I mean, again, he's always adding like niniku. I mean, obviously garlic, olive oil, the pepper right there. And sometimes I'll have it cut up into little pieces. Taka no tsume. あさりと酒を入れたなら蓋をして口が開くの待ちます私の好きなあさりの酒蒸しあさりの酒蒸し Sounds like saying sake moshi, but sake mushi. あなたと一緒に今日は食べたいの仕上げにお醤油とバターを溶かして Okay, so that's the, okay. Add a little soy sauce and butter. 小ネギ散らして Konegi? Oh, okay, with the small peppers. Or small onions, sorry. 出来上がり
残り汁も
ご飯にかけて
いただきますおっす白ご飯もいただけますか
バカおやすみなさい
Okay. All right, so let's see, that's 50. Yeah, so this is like, took me quite a while to actually get through this, but there was a lot more conversation on this one, I noticed, and so it made the video a little bit longer. The one from yesterday I did, it started about, I mean, I think it was like really fast, like we're talking 30, 40 minutes. All right, but yeah, that's the, particular Taka no tsume. That's a very, very hot pepper for cooking. But you'll have it, but you got to be careful not to eat it because it's this good. But so yeah, when it's served, you kind of like set it aside. Although I think my wife might eat it. I don't know. It's just if you bite into it, you're not expecting it, it's gonna be okay. That was a spicy meatball. But yeah, it's very good for getting bringing out some flavor as well of the food. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of. As for the conversations there, that's just something you gotta, sometimes happens. It's, the mother does care for the son. It seems like they're kind of have, they might yell at each other or something, but it's kind of it's kind of a playful argument. It's nothing serious, he is taking care of it, but he kind of probably might wish that she doesn't, drink herself into a stupor each night. It would probably be better that way. But yeah, he takes care of her diligently. And then it might, he might be able to later on take care of, have his, meet with someone, but he's a dutiful son, so that's going to happen. All right. As far as so for the people who are asking in the chat, so like, do you do immersion outside? Like I was mentioning, so there's just watching shows on TV, that's immersion. If I do any reading, I kind of don't, but yeah, I mean, there's that. Then also there's the studying, which again, I don't do studying on the online anymore. I don't stream that. I used to one time, but I don't do that anymore. So this is just a reading. And like I've mentioned before, if you consume a show like this, the first time you watch it is like this, reading it while the show is playing. This is not called pausing and all, because again, people misunderstand it or they purposely misrepresent it. This is reading. So this purpose is reading. Read along with the audio. But because of the reading, you're looking up stuff you don't know, which again, that's reasonable to do during, this is called kind of like active immersion, where you look up the words that you don't know. So you're increasing your comprehension of the story. It might be like, oh wow, I didn't quite get it because you didn't get it because of the, it might just be like the a particular word was the format looked different than what you were used to seeing. Whatever the reason is, but anyway, from when you're reading it, but also with listening to it, you kind of understand the story at a higher level than you would if it's just based on what your current level of Japanese happens to be, because you've looked up stuff you didn't know. And the unknown words, unknown phrases are kind of like maybe replayed. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not getting something, and make sure you understand the point. Cool. So now if I wanted to, after I'm done with this, I sit down and rewatch the show on my own, I'm going to have a much higher comprehension of it. So then that immersion, I'm going to get a lot more from that immersion. In addition to, I've ripped this audio using that, Chimeru Demi, Chirideru. I think I forgot what the plugin name is, but anyway, it allows you to rip audio from Netflix shows and also use the subtitles so you can compact the audio. So you get rid of all the all the parts of the non-spoken portions of or the parts of basically the parts that don't have subtitles. All right, so then I can listen to that audio as well, and kind of, again, use that as background noise. I either pay attention or I don't, whatever. But again, it's there. And it happens to include subtitles. So if I play it on my computer and activate visualizers because it's an audio file, so you activate visualizer on the, let's say, VLC, it'll actually show the subtitles. Brazier Danger, happy birthday. Whose birthday? I don't know. It's not my birthday. I know that. Mine's like earlier in the year. But anyway, so like I was saying, so yeah, by just doing this whole reading, I turned this show into something that's comprehensible. I can watch it as many times. And the way I did this before, when I first started, and I did it accidentally, was I did it by doing subs/SRS, and I was going line by line, looking up what every line meant, and adding it to Anki, and then testing myself on lines that, sentences that I didn't know. I was doing it. Now, that was a very bad way of doing it. Don't do it that way. But it allowed me to accidentally realize that all I had to do was read a show. Don't have to just watch a show, but take some time out of your day, and as you're treat it like a study process. Pick a show or something where you're going to go all the way through it and try to understand it as high a level as you can. And that's a pretty good thing to start off once you've finished N4 level. Definitely in your N3 level. That's when you want to try something like that. And again, you then you're not this way. You don't have to depend upon, because like on the Learn Japanese subreddit, there is a very common question like, oh, how can I find manga at my level? How can I find TV shows at my level? They'll give a random. It's like, it's simple. You make those into you turn those into your level. All right, you just study it. You're not really studying it as in you're trying to memorize words, but you've just taken off a little bit of effort to turn this show into something that's comprehensible to you, because you know the plot, the characters, the big portions, and also you kind of looked up some of the words, and because of that, when you rewatch it, you get reminded. So you're kind of like doing a spaced reminding system, SRS. And it becomes more and more comprehensible after that, and again, you're not making any effort after that to look up words you don't know. This is just you experiencing the show as it's meant to be experienced. And I think that's pretty good. If I've done that, if I'd kept doing that, but what had happened, the reason why it stopped, and I thought oh my God, it took me the first time I did this I've told this story before. Okay, so it's imagine 10 or so years ago, I'm trying to do subs/SRS with the first episode of Zetai Karashi. Okay, cool. So I did that. I was going into Anki line by line. I wasn't even using the English subtitles at all. So I was trying to figure out all this stuff. So that was a bad idea to begin with. But it's possible. I think it would have been fair if you'd used English subtitles to kind of help you get if you couldn't figure it out based on looking at words and look at what the English subtitles are, because that's somebody else put in the work for you. You could do that. I've never used English subtitles now. But yeah, I think it's starting off, it wouldn't have been a bad idea. But for the most part, if you can figure it out, if it's a sentence you can't figure out, you gotta look up words you can figure out there, you're perfect. If you can't figure it out from the sentences, because let's say there's some type of grammatical functions happening that you're not quite grasping, look at the English translation. I was like, oh, okay, that's what's going on here. Because that part is going to be much more difficult to look up, the grammatical function. It's a little easier now because you can just copy paste it into Deep L, and that's a really good program now. But that wasn't available 10 years ago. But anyway, let's say, again, going line by line. But what I'm doing is, instead of SubSRS where it was audio, I'm just, well, again, I was kind of doing that, what I'm doing here, but I was doing it through SubSRS. Well, it took me like an hour, like 10 hours just to get through 1 hour of episode, right? And like I mentioned before, though, what it turned out is I'd also had that audio, like I've done with a lot of other dramas, ripped and put into my iPhone and was playing on loop. And what I started noticing once I did Zettai Kureshi, then I did, I think it was Rookies or Hanayori Dengo. I think it was Rookies. And then after that, Hanayori Dengo and some other shows as well, Last Friends. That's when I noticed, like, oh my God, I'm like understanding this audio at a much, much higher level than all this other audio that I'd had ripped and was listening to. Because the other audio was actually just white noise. I mean, yeah, it would play. I was doing background immersion like they were saying to do with HF, but it was useless, really. I mean, it was just wasted time. Whereas this audio that was from stuff that I'd studied is like, I'm comprehending it, I'm paying attention, and my brain is actually turning this into actually making use of it. So yeah, at the time I thought, oh, then let's just keep doing it SubSRS. But really, I didn't have to do SubSRS. All I had to do was what I was doing with SubSRS, which is, here's a sentence, oh, here's something I don't know in it, look it up, and then go on to the next sentence and look it up. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry about talking so long about that. But yeah, it's anyway, thank you, E.T., for your help with the translations, or the explanation of what the words mean. Sick and tired, hopefully that answered your question. Is there danger? If you're wishing me happy birthday, sorry, my birthday was way back when, but thank you for the happy birthday if it was to me. Let's see, who else was talking? Dr. Merlot, hope everything's going well. I know you hopefully got your computer replaced. You said something about there was a problem with the computer. All right, I think that's about it. So thank you all very much. This was a good episode. Took about 50 minutes to get through, but yeah, it was worth it. I don't know what the next episode will be like, but yeah, this was, again, every episode is going to be a little different with this particular series. Like you saw the first episode. I think that like yesterday's episode was like 12 minutes of actual spoken dialogue. So that meant like half of it is like there's no dialogue. It's just people walking around to music or something. But that's cool. And again, it just depends on the show. This one, I guess if I looked at the audio, it might show that, oh my God, there's a lot more conversation going on here. Yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you all very much. If you enjoyed the video, remember to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you enjoy the series, subscribe to see more. If you like what I'm doing with the Let's Learn Japanese project, you can become a member of the Patreon. With links to that down below, as well as to the website, to the community Discord. Finally, if you'd like to hire me on commission, again, that's done via the Discord. I'm sorry, it's not done during the Discord. It's done via the Patreon. So the hourly rates and the payment are done on the Patreon. And again, if you want to hire me for technical assistance or advice. It's not about, you don't hire me to teach you Japanese, because I'm not going to teach you Japanese. I'm going to teach you how to use material that you can teach yourself Japanese, if that makes sense. Cool. Without it, thank you all very much. Sick and tired saying, would doing a deck of a certain show before watching have some more fun? Yeah, it would. But I'm saying, though, the deck is the show. I mean, what you could do, because this is Netflix here, but this is I'll just kind of show you real quick. What you could do, make this a little bigger. All right, since this is the Learn Languages with Netflix plugin, you can come right here, and here are the words. So here's the level 1 words. So those are obviously very basic. Level 2 words, makiseru, okiru, hajimete. And you click here, if you click on it, it'll tell you like where in the show this particular word popped up. Okay, sorry, let me go and turn this thing off. Okay. Like if we go like Musuko, here's where in the episode where Musuko showed up. Right here to expand, or
盛り上がる。
You know, and then here's from again in the show where it came from, and what this could also be. And again, use this with the pop-up picture. So what you could do is, before you watch the show, look at what are some words that are happening here, like kamitepi. So those are like the, yeah, a little congratulatory. Judan, like this is like a middle grade judo or something. Kakeru. Mizukoi, like just watery. Mizukusai. Being drunk. Yoitsuberu. This was going on travel or on tour. You know, you could do that. You can basically front load it. I don't think you need to front load it. You don't need to do a study deck. You don't need to do that. Just have fun with the show. So just treat it like you're reading. You're like reading first to audio, and then watch the show normally, if that makes sense. But just when you're reading, because you're doing it on your computer, you can then, oh, I don't know what this word is. Let me look up this word real quick. That's all you're doing. Yeah. You know, it takes a little longer. So, you know, this is a 20-minute show, and it took me 50 minutes to get through. Is that really a bad thing? I don't think so. And it's fun after that. And again, treat it like you're reading to audio. That's all. And the first time you try this, if you've never done reading before in this nature, you know, expect it to take much longer. And what I would say is, if you're at the beginning stages, every hour, if it takes you an hour of effort to get through something, then at the end of the hour, pause everything real quick on the reading side of things, then go back and watch the show. Just watch it normally up to the point you've read up to. All right. Then after that, then start reading again. Start doing the reading again. You know, it might take for about another hour or so. And then if this is take you like, after doing that a couple of times a day, you know, just continue it over day by day. If it takes you a few days to get through one episode, who cares? Hey, you know, it's like your first chapter of a book. This is like a 45-minute TV show is like 15 pages of a book. Let me shrink this down, by the way. Close that out. Okay, sorry. Yeah, if it's a 45-minute show, the usual transcripts of that come up to about 10 to 15 pages of text, the equivalent of that. And then an entire show of 10 to 12 episodes, that's like, you know, if you treat each episode like a chapter, so that's like 10 to 12 chapters of a book. That's a kind of a full book. And it comes up to about, if you do the math, 150 to 200 pages. You know, that's a light novel right there. So you've done the reading of the equivalent of a light novel. You just done it to audio. You've looked at work, and you can then watch it again normally. And now you've got yourself a few hours, an hour, then later on 2 hours, and 3 and 4. Then you got the entire show that you've kind of you've brought to your level. You brought down to your level. Because again, your level of Japanese is probably real low. But you brought native level material down to your level, and now you can watch it and appreciate it, and you don't need any other resource. You don't need any crutches after that, at that point, if that makes sense. Cool. All right, so sick and tired. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, because again, I get it. People, especially 4chan DJT, you know, they make fun of me saying, "Oh, I'm pausing all the time." But again, they're assuming I'm watching the show. I'm not. I'm reading the show. And people who read tend to look up words they don't know. And what I'm not doing is I'm not reading it out loud. I could, but I'm not. I'm listening to it, so I get to hear how a native pronounces stuff. So that's a really big benefit there for fun as well. And again, it has so many benefits just by having this be your first initial exposure to a show, and then you watch it normally as many times as you want. You can listen to it on background as many times as you want. You can reread it again as many times as you want. You know, and it's less effort the second time, third time, or fourth time around if you want to. And you don't have to. You can keep going on. There's plenty of fucking shows now. You can like do this daily and never experience the same thing twice, and still have fun. And it'd be just as fun as someone who goes and when they finish a book, they go and reread it. Just as good. Okay? It's all up to you. All right. Later on, guys, I've already done the outro. So thank you all very much, and thank you everyone who made a comment. Hopefully this is me not talking too much. 20 minutes again after the show ended. Later on, guys. Thanks, man. Thanks everyone. This has been enjoyable. All right, I'll see you on the next episode.